Then it was time for Jay White against Daddy Ass. Daddy Ass, the victim of a home invasion by the Bang Bang Gang on Rampage last Friday. A memorable piece of television.
Oh man, did you see it? The home
Yes.
invasion? Was it a good home invasion?
No.
Oh, okay. Of the home invasions, was it a top 10 even?
No, it was a bottom end.
Ooh.
They came in. The Guns like just opened the door because they have like a key to his place. So they get in and then they're like throwing his protein powder into the garbage. And like that was like the big like they didn't break anything. They didn't like do anything. And then Billy and his wife show up and they just leave. They run out the back and he's like, what the hell?
How nice of them to actually throw it into the garbage rather than
he
on the floor.
Didn't even throw it into like the wrong like recycling bin or anything or on the ground for them to have to clean it up later. It was
probably expired anyway.
Well, as did my interest in this match. So
this one.
Part of me thought by the end of this that they thought, it'd be so funny. Phil and his 5-star criticisms, we're going to show him.
See, we're not a 5-star. We're not a promotion that only cares about 5-star
I literally
matches.
thought like these guys were out here to have like the worst match in Dynamite history. Like,
this was an unusual match for AEW period.
Dude, it was 11 minutes and 41 seconds of Billy Gunn in a singles match. Mm-hmm. He's 60.
It's unusual because the standard of quality in AEW is so high when it comes to in-ring wrestling that even like the most nothing, AEW Rampage match would have had way more substance and way much like better layout than something like this.
People can rag on Rampage that it's not essential viewing, but that's an entertaining hour of television. Like if you just want some great wrestling matches, like I enjoy that show most weeks. Like it's entertaining stuff. Billy Gunn would not be able to cut it on Rampage. It was also the layout of this match. Mm-hmm. So it was like comical, the level of Jay White having to sell for this guy, and he's doing this over the top selling, like all the old like 80s like crawling and feigning like he's in fear of the 60-year-old man Billy Gunn, who's just giving him like the most bare bones offense. Like Excalibur is called, it's the unadulterated Billy Gunn tonight, and you're watching him with like these forearms that, I mean, he went into the post. I don't think like a child would have been affected by this clothesline that went into the post. They go through the crowd. So apparently there were no countouts to this. White's begging off.
No. There were. It was just that Aubrey was counting comically slow. Like the announcers even called it out at one point. Where like they were breaking the count at one point, and then they just like kind of didn't for what felt like minutes, and then Aubrey would just all of a sudden continue 7, and then like it made Aubrey look terrible.
Like honestly, this belonged on Spring Break.
I don't know about that.
Well, it belonged somewhere, and maybe just not on my television set on Wednesday night. But I mean, the Acclaimed and the Guns are shown backstage, and Gunn misses in the corner. White's fighting back. This is after like selling, I'm not kidding, for like 8 minutes in succession. And the Acclaimed are laid out backstage. So Jay White eye gouges him, sends Gunn into the post, and then Billy still overcomes the Blade Runner and hits the one and only as both men are down. Gunn hits a famouser, but instead of going for the pin, he poses to the crowd and then puts up his arms and just right there on live television, suck my dick. And then it's another famouser. That's not enough. He goes to get a chair. And then the Guns come down to protect Jay White from the chair shot. And then in plain view of Aubrey, Jay White low blows Billy Gunn. And like throughout all this selling, I'm just thinking, man, this is like Jay White's going to get this win, but they're going to give this whole match to Billy Gunn. And I think it's still an awful layout, but that's what they're going to do here. They do a DQ finish at 11:41. I could not believe that this was our ending to this god-awful match. The Acclaimed run out. They toss out the Bang Bang Gang, and then they just beat the shit out of Bang Bang Gang to the point that they're about to put them through the desk. But because we're doing a double taping, they've got to remove both panels. So we see the Dynamite panel come off, the Collision panel come off. Like, this is such a comedy of errors. And then they go to suplex White through the desk when the Guns rescue them. I can tell you, I have no interest in seeing any of these matches involving these six again. This was one of the worst matches, I think, in Dynamite's history. I hated this with such a degree. It's going on my end of year list.
I think because it's AEW and because we're so used to a high standard of quality of it, especially on Dynamite, which is like your A-level show, this really does stand out. This felt like a standard match in terms of style from like the 80s WWF, in that it was incredibly slow. But except unlike the TV matches back then, this went 12 minutes. And 80% of it was Billy Gunn very gingerly leading Jay White through a leisurely stroll, through the crowd, doing nothing. I thought Aubrey's outrageous slow counting that the announcers even called out made her look awful. Then you had your lazy and cliche like distraction DQ, low blow, bullshit finish, and a cutaway to the back with the Acclaim that really served no purpose. Like, they showed them laid out, but the Acclaim came out and like made the save anyway. Like,
they didn't sell any of the attack. Like, there were so many examples in this match that it felt like they were actively trying to just hijack this thing.
That can't be possible. But it was that bad. I
just don't understand how this was produced as this was the Phantom attack backstage, and then you're not selling any of it. It's like the cliche DQ that they've been so reticent to try. I know they've done a few of late, but I mean, this was just the most egregious one that just screamed, let's get out of this match with as unsatisfying a finish as possible. And at the end of it, man, did you want to see this six-man? I don't.
No, not at all. Well, I also didn't see the home invasion. Maybe that'll change my mind.
Well, this match invaded my home on Wednesday. Awful match.